your cowboy shit.
Welcome to Cowboy Shit. My name is Ted Stoven. He is James Foley, and this is the 208th episode. Um, Actually, that's something, isn't it? Because if there's 52 weeks in a year and we do 26 shows a year, that means that we just wrapped up. This is like the end of the eighth season,
Eighth season.
technically. We're a little bit delayed because usually this would be like a month previous.
Right.
So I think we're a couple shows behind, but like, holy shit, yeah, this is the end of the eighth season of the show. Then it's the last one, James.
Done. And the grade eight's done.
Damn. So we're on to number nine in the next go here. That's kind of wild.
That is wild.
208. That's a lot of shows.
What's the big show number?
250 will be a big one, right? That's the next big milestone, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, 250.
As far as numbers go, but technically that's like still 2 years away. Almost 2 years away.
Right.
Yeah.
What is
But what was I gonna say? The guy on the show this week, I looked up some of the info and I had to like figure out I had to find a file for the show. So I emailed Storm and I didn't know where it was, but
Yeah.
I found it back on YouTube and downloaded and sent it. But it was all the way back to number 68, which was back in 2000 and the summer of 2020.
Oof.
Yeah. Kind of wild to think back, man. It's already 2026,
6 years.
right? Isn't that
Yeah.
kind of nuts?
It is nuts.
Doesn't seem like that long ago.
Been podding. You've been podding for a while.
And you've been podding with us for a while because the one of your shows goes back to like when we talked to you and Jess in Saskatoon with Wasey and I back then. When was that?
2018.
18 or 19?
Yeah.
That was like back in like the 50s, I think, like as far as episodes go. I gotta look now.
Yeah, that's back in the day.
That was a fun show.
That was a very good one. If you
I just
haven't,
looked up Jess Lockwood and like the third thing was like Jess Lockwood girlfriend. That was kind of funny. I literally was on the plane with her the other day coming back from Dallas.
she
Amazing.
came home from surgery.
Yeah, like on Friday night. I think she got it done Wednesday and she's back on Friday. It was
Nice.
wild.
How was the trip in Dallas? Let's hear some deep.
Dallas? Man, I got what do I got about Dallas? I'm trying to find this damn show and I'm having trouble finding it. Um, what I was gonna say about Dallas. Okay. Oh, number 53.
Oh, that ain't bad.
Yeah, episode 53. That's kind of fun. James Foley. AI mode in Google's pretty decent these days. Anyway, sorry. Sidebar. Dallas, we had really good food. Did some business with a little bit of cowboy shit. Sold some sunglasses for Beck. Sold a lot of Montana Silversmith stuff. It was a productive week, but the food, man. Nobu, Martina was down there helping us out. You can check her out, Real Western Media, on the Facebook and Instagram. She's doing some kick-ass video stuff. She helped us out this last year with the NFR in Dallas and helped us out with a lot of the rodeos all summer. She's back on this year as well. Her boyfriend, Wyatt Wilson, is like almost 7 feet tall. He's humongous. Very tall man. Bulldogger, too. He's got a big wingspan, so he can jump off and get those suckers.
Doesn't need a horse to be so tight.
Barely. Yeah, right?
Can't get away. You net, the human net.
Yeah, stretch. Anyways, so Martina never had sushi before. She didn't know how to like use chopsticks, so I had to like teach her how to use chopsticks. But she never had sushi before. I didn't realize this. I booked us at like go to Nobu because I've been to Nobu like 3 or 4 times in my life now, but like really, really freaking good sushi.
Nope.
And I was like, this isn't your average like Edo. This isn't the Edo sushi you get at the mall. Like this is like some pretty high end like good shit. And I don't know what the bill was. It was expensive, but we were in Dallas, and like one of the things I like about that show is going out and having dinner with clients and whatnot. So like, yeah, went to Nubu. Her mind was blown. She's like, "This is so good. It's amazing.
Hey,
I
what
love
what do,
sushi."
what do all the line cooks or the line chefs say to you when you walk in there?
I don't know actually, but they say something. But I don't know. Do they say hello like in
I don't know.
Japanese or something? I don't even know.
Japanese, they all say one thing though to you
They
when
do.
they
Yeah.
I
because
just
the host like says something. But I knew we were in a fancy joint, James, because the friggin' lady like seating everyone was wearing a fucking Rolex. I was like, we are in the high rent part of town because
yeah,
the host was wearing a Rolex.
probably the best sushi though I've ever had in my life.
Oh,
Like you pay for what you get there.
where did you go to it?
Vegas.
Yeah, which one? Hard Rock or Paris or Caesar's Pilache?
Yeah, Caesars.
Caesar's, yeah. There's three locations if you didn't know, if you're not a Nobu person yet.
No, I've been once. I've been once, seen the bill and was like, get me.
I
I can't drink anymore because
think I think I'm joking on sushi. I can't pay this.
yeah, if I puke tonight, I wasted a ton of money, so couldn't
Oh,
even. But it is unreal food.
yeah,
Like,
big fan. Big fan. Anyways, went to there and then went to another place I've been to a couple times that was just south of the market. And then we went to STK Steakhouse and had a really fun time with the crew there. That was a great time. And then we got the hell out of Dodge on Friday night because there was Ice Mageddon was coming to Dallas, Texas. So we
yeah,
bailed on the last day of the trip and went home because we were like, yeah, we don't really need to stick around for this.
you guys would still be there, guaranteed.
Well, the folks that had a flight originally booked on like I think they were supposed to leave Saturday. Our Saturday flight got canceled. Luckily, we got like some of the last two seats on the Friday night flight back to Calgary. But yeah, the folks that were supposed to leave Saturday didn't leave till Sunday at like 11:30 at night.
Ooh.
They sat on the tarmac for longer than the flight took.
What?
Oh yeah, waiting on people to load the bags apparently. It's
Uh,
crazy.
they're just spinning out in their little cart.
Oh, probably yeah. Like Austin Powers in the friggin' in the hallway trying to back it back and forth, except they were on ice and they couldn't go anywhere. It's probably
No.
exactly what happened.
Is there a worse feeling than sitting on a plane, waiting to either get off or like when you just pull up and they leave you hanging there and it's like, okay, man, just pull up to this door and crack it open. Whatever reason, we can wait.
I have to
I
say that's like one of my worst nightmares is being friggin' stuck on a plane on the tarmac for like 8 hours or something stupid. Like that's like one of my like worst fears of travel. Like I don't want to fucking deal with that.
no, I do not.
That'd be fucked.
Pity people that
And
like
wouldn't that be bullshit?
yeah, or even like people like when you an extra 24, 36 hours you have to spend in the airport.
Yeah, that would blow. I was not into that. And I was like, you know what? I don't have to stay. And I don't have anything. I can move everything up. Everybody else is leaving. This place is gonna be a ghost town. I was like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Why do we
Yeah.
need to stay? So yeah, we got the heck out of Dodge. Um, but man, Martina asked me a question, and I'm gonna propose it to you now. How many flights have you been on in your lifetime?
Like airplanes?
Yeah, like airplane flights. Like how many flights do you think you've been on in your lifetime?
Oh, I don't know, not that many. Like
No?
no,
Like 20, 30, 50, 100?
just 20.
You've been on 20 flights in your lifetime.
Yeah, maybe.
So like 10 trips
10
in your
trips.
lifetime.
Yeah,
That's
10.
it in your lifetime?
Yeah, not a big flight. Yeah.
That doesn't seem like very many flights.
I don't get to fly anywhere. I have to drive.
Yeah, you gotta drive to Vegas. You're taking bulls all the time.
Yeah.
What about holidays? Like how many holidays you been on? Where you been in the on the globe?
Uh,
How many countries?
three.
Canada, US, and Mexico? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have the desire to fly though?
Not 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 a super, no.
Not interested in like traveling the world someday, like Europe and Australia, like just not on your bucket list?
Maybe, but no, it's not something that like I have a wish wall and a picture of the Eiffel Towers on there.
You're that's not of interest to you.
No.
Hmm. What about your better half, your other half?
Yeah, big traveler.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I think I was on more flights last year than you maybe have been in your lifetime. I think I flew 20 times last year.
You fly for work though,
That's true. That is true.
right? Like it's not you fly for work. I don't fly for work.
Yeah, because your work is close to home. You get to drive to work every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you fly like every weekend, just about.
A lot of weeks of the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Martina asked me, and I just didn't thinking about it. I started thinking about. I was like,
You're
geez,
an
I've probably been
airport.
on 500 flights in my lifetime, maybe more.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're an airport lot lizard.
an airport lot lizard. I'm not hooking for cheeseburgers at the airport lounge
You're always
fully.
just
Fuck.
hanging out, probably Starbucks in hand, just sitting. Good.
Getting a pedicure at the fucking airport.
Nail for you.
Oh, deal. Oh man. Um, because she was asking someone about flying, and then I was like, yeah, no, we're just in the descent. It's probably like it's about 30 minutes from here. I was like, we're just going over Lethbridge right now. Like I looked at my phone on the map, and she's like, oh shit, I thought we had another hour. I was like, no. Once the descent starts, it's about 30 minutes on the 737s, and on the Dash 8s, it's about 18 to 20. I
Are
was telling her the shit, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Apparently, I fly too much to.
you a club member anywhere?
For what do you mean?
Like a WestJet? Like, do you get to go in any of those little off suites?
Yeah, they're not all they're cracked up to be though fully. I've been in them enough now that I'm sick of the food for the most part. The
Oh,
menu doesn't change in there very often, and
oh,
like it's
good.
kind of not as good anymore.
Free drinks though?
Yeah, but not before like 11 a.m. at the new one in Calgary. They just updated it. It's really nice. Like I did enjoy hanging out at the new lounge in Calgary, but the best one is the WestJet Domestic Lounge in Calgary because it's like their flagship lounge. But the rest of them now, like I've been in them in like Denver and like Phoenix and Dallas and different shit, and like I didn't even go to it in Dallas this time because we hung out with Jim and a bunch of the crew, like Jim Nevada and a bunch of the crew. Like we didn't even go. I could have went to the lounge in Dallas and hung out for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like Martina and I could have went, but instead we just had beers at like TGI Fridays, and I
Oh
was
no.
like, I don't need to go to the lounge. Like Martina probably would have liked it. Like I kind of feel bad I didn't take her, but also I didn't want to ditch Jim and them because we took the Uber together down there and stuff. And like yeah, but they're not all cracked up to be. And like sticking with the airline, like I get a free bag with my friggin' WestJet Mastercard, and after that, like the upgrades and shit, like I just pay a little extra to pick my seat because I'm kind of a nerd that way. Like I'll basically, if on a WestJet flight, if I'm booking my flights, like for the PBR tour this spring,
Yeah.
I'll book 4F every single time because I'll book them in the next like couple weeks, and I'll book.
Everybody book WestJet for 4F every flight. Let's
That's
get.
my go-to, man. At 4F, it's right behind like the premium economy thing.
Oh
And
yeah.
if I book like anything I book because I have like gold status with WestJet, I just book 4F every time. It's like on the window. I got space for my cowboy hat in front of me, under the seat in front of me, and it's like right at the front of the plane, right behind the business class and shit. And it's just like I literally have my seat for the tour. But we've been doing that shit for this is the 11th season, I guess. Like 11 years I've been flying around the country doing these bull ridings.
Yeah, you know where to sit.
I
Nothing
even
worse. Nothing worse than getting wing seat.
Man, I liked the wing on the way home from Dallas. It was a different experience. Like going to like flight school the last couple weeks, learning about the wings and different parts of the wing and like what does what and what creates the lift and like all the different shit. I sitting on the wing, I was like, this is fucking cool. I forgot about sitting on the wing. I haven't been back here in a while because I've been just posted up in 4F for fucking years.
Novelties of 4F have really rubbed off.
Because I used to be like the exit
I
row
always
guy.
I never book. I've
Pardon?
never. I always get the wing seat.
You do?
Always, yeah.
Well, the wing seat's sometimes the exit row though. That's not bad.
Or right behind the wing, so you can kind of see down, but you get the wing. Because I never book ahead. Kira does now, so I get better seating. But we
Yeah.
usually wait till the last minute because we don't care, and then wing
Yeah.
seat.
Yeah. The funny thing with booking early is like I'm gonna book this stuff now in like January, and I've done it lots where I book it in like December, like Boxing Day and shit. But like the plane's wide open because people don't book that shit that far ahead for the most part. So if I want my seat, I'm picking 4F like every time, and but it's actually cheaper because from what I've found, and I might be wrong, but like those prices on those flights are not really often going down in
No,
my but also I never look at it again. They've got your money for an extra 4 or 5 months. But also like shit, I probably save 300-400 bucks a trip because I book it so early a lot of the
right.
times.
Book early, kids.
Well, and I might be wrong, but some of the stuff's like 3 weeks, but I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Get your Brahma boots. Book early. 4F.
4F.
Just tell them to
Yeah.
give. I want the Ted Stovin.
My I will say my Brahma boots pretty much don't walk past row 4 on the WestJet flights these days.
You don't know what it feels like to get to the teens.
Man, there was a flight last winter going to Hawaii, and I was in like 26 or 27 or something because that one book got booked pretty last minute, and it was fucking weird. I felt claustrophobic in the plane again because I was back in the back of the bus, and I was like, "Fuck, there's no room for my Brahma boots back here." And it's like I'm row 27, and like it's cramped and it's bumpy and shit, and like
Bunch of last minute peasants back here.
fucking fucking turbulence is worse back here. I'm having anxiety because it's close. It's cold. It's tiny back here.
With the peasants.
Oh fuck, man! It was funny though because I literally like never fucking sit back there ever. It's bizarre. And
Yeah.
then I usually am always like always on a window, so I because I always book shit so far ahead. And then I just had to sit in an aisle on the way back, and I was like, at least I was row five that time, but like row four. But on the aisle, it was weird. I like didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, because I always am just glued to the fucking window, and it never. I don't ever put the shade down. Just always just eyes out the window looking at shit. But like going across the ocean, there's fuck all to see.
Right.
So, anyways, but I also don't swim good. So like, there's also the anxiety of the flying in the ocean, and then I'm like, well, fuck, I'm just gonna sink because I don't know how to swim for shit.
I wouldn't even, you don't even have to worry about swimming. When you hit the ocean, that'll be lights out. Don't worry about swimming. They'll be over when you hit the water.
Oh fuck, what a
That's
time! What a time!
like, with how much you fly, how annoying is it, the people? And if you're this person, I hope you take this personal. I hope it hits deep right
Hope it
now.
triggers you.
As soon as the plane like does a ding and people can stand up, there's one guy that just first one up has to stand in the middle of the row, stretch. And I'm like, you son of a bitch.
There's fucking everybody that does that Foley. And it's
Oh,
like I'm on the window, so it's not me ever, right? Because I'm always by the window. And my other thing too is like if I've got something in the overhead bin, I'm fucking waiting for all the people to go by that don't have anything in the overhead bin to get that bitch unloaded ASAP. Like I'm not fucking making you wait for me to pull my shit out of the bins and then walk off. Like this fucking plane unloading shit is a
yeah, we there
it's a
needs
production.
yeah, that's a, they
Yeah.
need fuck the mask and the where my life jacket is. I want to know how this son of a bitch is gonna unload
Yeah.
in orderly fashion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's go over that. Let's start today. We're going to start at row 31. That's right. We're going to start at the back of the plane today. 31s, you're going to come first, then
Yeah.
30.
Wouldn't that make sense too?
Yeah, no, not Jack in row 16 that didn't want to pay first class and is pissed off and got a briefcase and needs to get out of here right now.
Yeah, I don't know. And when I was a kid, I always used to wait till like very, very last. Like as soon as I was like nobody else in the plane, I would go bail on. But now I do like getting on first to get my shit and just sit down and like I just meditate now. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, getting to a place, I'm waiting until like I don't want to hold somebody up. Like if you can get off that plane earlier, because I got my shit in the overhead, like I'm not holding you up. I'm fucking waiting unless I'm really in a jam to get somewhere. I gotta go poop or something. But like
Yeah.
otherwise, waiting.
Yeah. And then you get off the plane and those guys that were in a hurry are
Are
sitting.
standing in the fucking way.
No, they're standing waiting for their bag to come off the plane, and you're
Oh,
standing.
that too, yeah. I will say for anyone that travels any amount, Nexus though, holy shit, is the way to go. Like even for the TSA pre-checks in the US, it's fucking sweet to not have to take your boots off once in a while. Like if I'm going in sneakers, you don't got to take your shoes off sometimes, but the cowboy boots will still set the alarm off. But like not having to unpack bags and shit is a game changer now. Like I friggin' love it.
Yeah,
Nexus.
I heard that.
Kira takes you away to the
Yeah.
far
You have
lands.
to pay for it or what?
$50.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Why doesn't everybody do that then?
I don't know. Probably because there's
You
a
don't
little
fly.
delay on the interview process. I did mine in 2011, and on the way down across the border, the U.S. didn't want to let me in because they said I was homeless
Yeah.
because I was Ted Stoven from No Fixed Address at the time. Technically, I had lots of homes and I had lots of rodeo moms and like lots of rodeo families out there, but like technically didn't have like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
any bills going anywhere. So, so that they didn't want to allow me entry. I had to show them that I was going to come back to Canada. I was going to be a burden to the American society. Finally, the
Right.
guy looked at me and I was like, "Hey, man, I don't know what we're trying to do here, but like I got like 2 grand in the bank. Like I'm never gonna be broke again in my life. Like I got $2,000. Like I'm fucking rich for 21 years old right now. I didn't tell him that part, but I like felt pretty confident. I was like, and also like motherfucker, with all due respect, I'll be going back to Canada. I do not want to live in America. Like I guarantee you I'll fucking be back because I
I will be
I
home.
want to go home. I have shit to do when I get home. Like I am not staying. But I did the interview on the way home. So it's
Yeah.
quite the fucking difference from going to like, sir, you're not allowed in America just to being a trusted traveler.
Oh yeah, they'll get you. Going crossing land crossings is one of the most intimidating things in the world.
Oh yeah, it's nuts.
Like that is just it is a feeling when they take your passport and they're looking inside your vehicle and
Not even like if you're trying to fucking pull something, right? Like just
no,
actually
being there.
anytime, just for any reason.
I accidentally pulled out my the guy asked me if I bought anything and I said yeah I did and I just reached behind my seat and I grabbed my cattle prod because I
Uh-oh,
wanted he was not impressed by that maneuver.
bad idea.
Bad idea.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, lesson learned.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Yeah, do not pull a cattle prod out.
No, that'd be a bad time.
Yeah.
Oh man. Um, what else do I got to say? The Brahma Boot
Karaoke.
studio looking pretty good.
Yeah, it looks great. Let's talk about your Brahma Boot karaoke.
Yes. So we were in Dallas, and my friends from Kimes, Mackenzie Parkinson, shout out Cameron Faust, makes the Cowgirl magazine 30 under 30 this year. I was having a drink with them because they had a party in Dallas the next night that they were
Right.
hosting Zach Top at, and there's this little dive bar called Rodeo Cold. And so we were going to scope it out and like see what the deal was and whatnot. And they had this thing called Cutthroat Karaoke going on Wednesday night. So I went and had, I think it was what was going on? I think Martina and I had dinner and other with some folks the on the earlier in the night, and
Yeah.
then I got us an Uber back to her hotel, and I was like, I got one more stop to make. I gotta go meet my friends for a drink here. So I bailed out and went to this Rodeo Cold place, and sure as shit, we get there and it's karaoke night, and Mackenzie and I play Wordle together every day too. That's part of the deal. That's why we're
Brutal.
Wordle. Yeah, that's part of why we're buddies. But anyways, we're at the karaoke bar and they don't want to sing karaoke. And we're like, I think I had like one whiskey and was just kind of keeping it low key. I had my briefcase with me still. I hadn't been home from the market yet. Like, been up since 6 in the morning and been at the market all day, like busting
Like
my
your
balls. Right to
fancy,
dinner, right to karaoke.
the fancy leather one you had?
Yeah, the nice leather one. Yeah. So I just put it up on the thing and then we're hanging around there and like, we see like Rocker Steiner bail in there with a bunch of his buddies. I saw him at the Hire Boots booth
Yeah.
earlier in the day, like walk by Hire and I was like, I don't I work for another boot company. I shouldn't go and say hi. But anyways, he's there and I give him the little like the rock and roll sign at one point, like, hey, what's up, dude? But then karaoke time comes by and it's cutthroat karaoke. So there's you either you get 1 minute and you either get booed off the stage because you're shit, or
Yeah.
you get to keep going. So it's like it's legit karaoke, right? And
Yes.
I'm like, I'm not scared. I've done karaoke twice, haven't been booed off yet, right? So like, let's go 3 for 3, 3-0, right? So,
Where have you been that you could get booed off though?
oh, never. That's a little
Yeah.
more high
Yeah,
stakes.
this is cutthroat.
Yeah, but luckily there's like only 12 people in the bar, so and it's Wednesday night. So and the normal host is not there. Anyways, King of the Road, Roger Miller comes on and it's like, hey, it's Ted's turn. Let's do this. So I get up there and I'm like, yeah, thanks everyone for joining in. This one's gonna need some crowd participation, and I just gotta say, big thank you. Really big fans in the stands here tonight. World champion bareback rider Rocker Steiner. Thanks so much for being here for my karaoke performance this evening. Really appreciate you being in the crowd here. Honored that you join us for this momentous occasion. And threw in. I'm like, I'm gonna need some crowd participation, folks, to get those fingers snapping. So we're snapping the fingers, the king of the road.
Yeah. What a horrible fucking karaoke song.
It's one of the only ones that
Horrible.
know the words to.
Oh, like you should have got booed. I would have started booing as soon as I
Oh man,
king
you
of the
can't.
road.
Why? That's a great karaoke song.
Oh man, you want to do something to get the people going.
Yeah, they were all snapping their fingers. They loved it for like 10 seconds. Then it was game over, and it was just like trying to get through it.
Oh, you should have went lights out
Tequila?
that's that's another banger.
I would have got booed off for sure with that one.
Oh yeah.
Man, what's your karaoke go-to song?
What am I going with?
Man, well, I gotta say one of the best ones ever that I remember seeing was Wasey with Ice Ice Baby. I don't know where we were, but he like knew the words anyways, and it was fucking awesome.
Spilled it. I think I like My Girl by the Temptations.
Oh, have you
That's a
done it
really
before though in person?
Oh yeah.
Where?
Yeah, if I get like 17 Captain Morgans in me, I will My Girl the shit out of any karaoke bar.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the
That's not what I was picking.
Temptations. Or I like to depending crowd feel, because My Girl's a hit and miss. You know what I mean? You
Works
get
some
too
places.
Yeah, you get too young and then
People don't get it.
yeah, the people are like, who the fuck is this? Or else I like maybe I'm gonna go with a Backstreet Boys song maybe.
Okay. I do gotta say my debut was New York, New York, Frank Sinatra.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a banger, actually. That would get the people going.
I definitely like remember like Preston and Wasey were like they were just totally fucking blown that I pulled it off and didn't even die. It was pretty hilarious.
That is a good one.
At Watchman's in Calgary. Um, okay, let's get to the show.
Let's
There's
do it.
uh there's the guy on the show this week. He's an author. He's a long rider. He's ridden from Alaska all the way to friggin' Patagonia. My mom's in Patagonia right now. And talking about this, but Filipe Masetti Leite, um, really fun conversation with this guy. We had him on the show back in like 2020, back in the COVID summer. That was the final part of his ride from Alaska to Calgary, and because he started Calgary in 2012, finished it in 2020, 27,000 kilometers, just an unreal story. So Felipe just released his documentary, so we had to chat with him just yesterday, technically, but you all are getting this a little bit later on. And yeah, it was fun. I'm excited for him to try out his Brahma boots. Hope that he enjoys them. And Foley, I don't know, have we got your order in for your boots yet?
Oh
I don't
yeah,
think
man. Yeah,
you
we'll
haven't
get
told me
there.
what you want
We're
yet.
gonna get there. We're gonna
Okay.
get there.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining me. What do you got coming up the next little while?
Just doing some practices, maybe next Wednesday in Vermilion. Anybody
Yeah.
wants to come get on, let us know.
Right
And
on.
other than that, man, just beating the cold, beating the cold.
Stay warm out there, bud. Nice hat.
Stay warm. Get these.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. My name's Ted Stoven. He's James Foley from the Brown Boot Studio in Calgary, Alberta. Thanks for joining us. This is Cowboy Shit. Catch up with you next time. From the Brahma Boot Studio in Calgary, Alberta, my name is Ted Stoven, and this is another episode of Cowboy Shit. Got a very special guest today. He's written at least 3 different books. They're titled The Long Ride Home, Long Ride to the End of the World, and The Last Long Ride. He's ridden 27,000 kilometers on his horses from Alaska to the southern tip of Patagonia, and he's a speaker at this point now, and he's just released his documentary. Spent some time on Amazon Prime, and now it's on YouTube. It's called The Long Rider. Won 21 different international film festivals. Please welcome to the show, Filipe Masetti Leite.
Woo,
I
you're
think I almost
prepared.
got it right.
Yeah, you got it great. That was everything else was freaking amazing.
Did we do it right?
You got your ducks in a row. You did it great.
I'm just really good at remembering stuff on short notice.
Well, very well. I can't. I'm terrible at remembering stuff. So you did a great job.
Well, so I was going to ask, you wrote the 3 different books on the 3 different trips. So it started off in Calgary, Alberta, 2012. You kicked off from the Calgary Stampede,
Yes,
started
sir.
going south. And I think I did read the first book now that I think about it. I think I gave it to my dad or somebody else to read now.
Nice.
Because I think I remember reading it where you get going and you're like, oh, shit, this is going to be friggin' far.
You may not have read it. You may just
I
be
forget.
judging by the
I
experience.
forget. But
That's 100% though. That's very correct. I did have that thought cross my mind.
Or it might have been when we were. So this is part 2 of the show because we
Yes.
we did one in the summer of 2020. You were almost done the entire ride. We
Crazy.
met you on
Forestry Trunk Road.
the trunk road, and it was close to where I used to camp when I was a kid.
No way.
There's a place called the Hummingbird Staging Area, which is like just off that trunk road. I want to say a little bit.
Yes, sir.
But it's between like Rocky Mountain House and Caroline and Sundry, I want to say.
Yep.
We were driving down the road, and you were like, yeah, just look for the motorhome, and I'll be riding like a little ways behind it. So we like come up in my red truck. We come up and find you.
Yeah.
And then, okay, we're going to go find a place. And I was like, we just drove by some pens on the side of the road. It's probably like
It was amazing.
2 miles or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the horses got to hang out.
Yeah.
But we just hung out. I brought some beers and some steaks, and we
never forget that
cooked some
cooler.
dinner. Yeah.
Cooler full of beer. You had every option.
I didn't know what you wanted, so I brought a bunch
I
of
know.
options.
It was the classiest thing ever. I'm like, I like this Ted guy.
Yeah, and we had never met before. And I think that Christina Barnes hooked me up because
Yep,
you were
I'll
on your
never
way down
forget.
there.
Christina Barnes was messaging me like what media wanted to interview me, and then she's like, "There's a podcast called Cowboy Shit. They want to talk to you." I'm like, "I want to talk to them." I was like, "What a cool name!" That was the first time I heard about you guys. And yeah, it's funny. I was reminiscing with Clara. It's funny how fast time's gone by. 5.5 years. We just talked about it, but I remember very vividly meeting you on the side of the Forestry Trunk Road 5.5 years ago.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah.
And I think we camped for the night and hung out, and then you were up and on your way the next day. And
Yeah, I
like,
ate some steaks, drank some
That's
beer, and then
wild.
the next week, I think we had like a week maybe to go, 10 days or something like that. We were
Yeah.
close to getting to the no Calgary Stampede.
Yeah.
Canceled for the first time in 100 years, but
Wow.
we got there.
Yeah. And I don't remember when we did it, but I remember working on your buckle with
Yes.
with Dana.
Yeah.
To get it made with Montana Silversmiths through Dana Pierce, who was the president
Yes,
of the Calgary
sir.
Stampede at the time. He called me, texted me, and I think like I don't know when the buckle thing happened. Now it was a little ways later. Maybe the
Yeah,
next
well,
year
I'll
or
tell you how it
something.
happened. I got
Yeah.
to the Stampede on July 3rd of 2020, finished the trip. The media was there. The mayor was there. Yada, yada, yada. The whole thing went down. You were there. You were there, right? And you said to me after, he's like, yo, they never gave you a buckle.
Yeah.
It's like, that's something that was missing. They gave you the champagne. Like, the whole thing was there. They white-hatted you, but where's your buckle? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, where is my buckle?
Yeah.
Like, because when I got to Bajetos, they made me a beautiful buckle. So that's when the dream started. And then you contacted Dana Pierce, who chose me to be the marshal and was the president at the time. And you guys talked and made it happen. And I have the buckle. And the best part about the buckle, it's a beautiful belt buckle. And I'll show you guys here in a second. But the best part is that inside the buckle, you put my horse's name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all three.
You
of them, wasn't
almost
it?
you made me like swallow the tears back when I saw that.
I
The
hope
two
they were
horses,
real
Mac and
tears.
Smokey.
Yeah.
You put the horse's name in there. That's the front of the buckle. Beautiful buckle. Calgary Stampede logo on there.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, when I saw this, my two horses' name inside, I was like, damn.
Cried a little bit.
Like, yeah, I didn't cry, but I had to swallow the tears back.
Yeah.
Because no
You
one
can tell
thinks
us
about
if
the
you
horses, right? Like,
It's true.
I thought, man, like just the thought process to say, hey, let's put the horse's name inside. Like they mean a lot to that guy. I thought that was really cool.
I think I'm gonna give that credit to Dana. I don't know if I was smart enough to think of that one.
You were probably right. Thanks, Dana. No,
I don't think it was
I give
me.
you both the credit.
I don't think it was me. Anyways, I'm just glad to help make it happen. But and that one says Fairbanks to Calgary. So that was the third and final leg. So you started off in Calgary and you rode all the way to Bajetos.
Yes,
and
sir.
It started in 2012.
Yep, Centennial Calgary Stampede.
Yeah, and got to Bajetos like 2 years later.
Yep, 2 years and a
To
half.
refresh everyone on the
Yeah,
story.
so that trip was 16,000 kilometers through 10 countries. I got there 803 days later, and
shit.
yeah, it was pretty textbook ending. It was pretty wild to ride inside arena with like 40,000 people on the
Yeah, or
first
like
Saturday.
80,000 people, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's the arena itself, the stands. It's like a soccer stadium.
Yeah.
So it fits 40,000. But then when the rodeo ends,
The concerts.
they put the people on the arena. I think like
Well, Wasey was down there with you.
yeah, he was
Well,
there shooting this year. But
Yeah.
it's like what's the rodeo I'm thinking for? Houston. Did they put people in the arena?
Not very many though.
Oh, okay.
No.
Bajetos just fills the arena. The rodeo's
Yeah.
done. It's like you got another 40,000 people in the arena.
For those that don't know about rodeos and bull riding events in Brazil, they're bull riding and rodeo is the second most live attended sport in Brazil,
Yep.
if my memory serves me proper. next only to soccer.
Yeah, it's
it's big freaking deal down there.
Oh, it's huge, man. We have like just thousands of rodeos every year across the country, and Bajitos is the biggest, one of the biggest in the world. Very similar to the Calgary Stampede, 10 days, the best competitors in stock in the world, and it's like I always say, it's very similar to the Calgary Stampede, but it's Latin America, right? So it's the Calgary Stampede on acid, if you can imagine that. That's Bajitos.
Yeah, I remember going to a few shows down there, and the differences were unbelievable. But man, I don't know even where to start with this, because I wish that I would have thought to listen to the last show to go over kind of what we covered then, but I think it's long enough ago that
yes, sir.
Folks can kind of go back there if they want. But I mean, I think this time some of the stuff I wanted to get to is like we got to talk about the documentary, because that was released a little while after we spoke last time. Like I said, it's spent some time on Amazon, but now it's on YouTube for the world to see. So tell us about that process, getting that done. I mean, the process of writing these books seems like I just can't even imagine writing one book, let alone three. And then I got some other things to ask about that. But tell us about the doc first. Let's get to that.
Yeah, so the documentary, I always say, is what allowed me to undertake the journey. I sold the project before I ever took off to a production company, and they paid me monthly to film for them. So the dream was paid by the documentary. I studied communication, journalism, specialized in documentary making. So when I was like trying to figure out the dream, I spent 2 years in a war room. I was like, how do I pay for this? I don't have the money, right? So then it very quickly in my mind, it was like, okay, this is what I'm studying. Like I'm studying documentary making. So let's do a doc. And yeah, so it was tough, man. Like not only did I have to ride the horses, be the vet, be the farrier, like I also had to shoot the whole thing, and a lot of it I was by myself. And so I literally had to take everything out of the pack saddle, set everything up, press record, go back 200 meters, cross the camera, get off, put everything away. Or, at night you're tired, you're setting up tent, you got to set up the shots, close up of the hands, go behind the shoulder, get the wide shot of the most important things you're doing. And the other part that was really hard about it was the logistics, because at that time there was no Elon Musk, there was no Wi-Fi, there was no internet. So there was no bandwidth to send this footage back through internet when you're in Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua. So I would literally have to take a bus to like the capital of these countries, find a FedEx, and ship everything back to the United States. The camera shot with cards A and B, so I would keep the A's just in case they lost them, and then I would ship the other ones. And when they got to Nashville, Tennessee, where the production company was based out of, they'd say, okay, it's on the hard drive, you can now film with the other cards. And then they would send it ahead to me to wherever I was, and then I'd pick up those other cards and continue shooting. And then carrying the equipment as well, like you're carrying a tripod, I had 2 cameras, a bunch of GoPros, and all I had was the pack saddle, right? On the first trip to Brazil, and then the second trip, for the most part, was just pack saddle as well. The last trip, Clara came with me with a support vehicle. That made a huge difference. We were able to get shots that I couldn't get when I was out there by myself, and just the logistics of carrying all this equipment. It didn't have to go in the pack saddle, but it was worth it, man. It was amazing. Once I got to release the doc, 10 years after I started shooting it, and I got to watch it in audiences. I went to Mumbai, I went to Hollywood, Spain. We traveled the world, Denmark, with this film, and just to watch it in the audience and see people laugh and see people cry. It was really powerful.
What, man, I just can't even imagine like trying to put this all together. But for those that don't know, you, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but born in Brazil.
Yes, sir.
But then your family early on moved to Ontario.
Yep.
And your dad got a job offer up there, I believe, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah.
You remember dad got a gig up there.
Yep.
And then you kind of grew up in Ontario.
Yep.
Like mostly grew up in Ontario.
Yeah. We moved out there when I was 9.
9. Okay.
My dad, we live in a coffee farm in Brazil. Our region is a lot of coffee, and he started exporting coffee to Canada and got the opportunity to move out here. And we grew up out there just rodeoing in small town Ontario. And I love it out there. We were just there doing a talk a couple weeks ago, got to see all the old friends, and yeah, it's a cool spot, man. People don't realize that there's cowboys in Ontario, right? But I'm very lucky. I feel blessed to I was born in Brazil and got that side of the culture. There's so many great things about Brazil, but then moving to Canada at an early age, I feel very thankful and blessed to kind of have that both sides of the coin,
When did you learn to speak English then? Like honestly,
So I learned when I was 9. Like
You're not, like when you moved to
when I
Toronto?
moved to Canada, yeah.
That's a pretty abrupt transition,
Yes.
I'd imagine.
100%, man. But looking back, like
Glad you did when you did.
yeah, that's what made me who I am today. Like if I had not faced that kind of adversity at an early age and realized, you know, kind of like that the monster in our mind is much bigger than we ever imagined, I don't think I would have been able to go on this journey and do what I did, you know, because I kind of got prepared for it through everything that happened in my life. Like I didn't speak a lick of English the first day I went to school. Like I was crying like a baby, right? I'm like, I don't want to go in there. Like these kids are gonna judge me so hard. But then by the first recess, you realize that like, okay, these kids are just like my friends in Brazil, right? Like we can make ourselves understood and figure it out when we're playing soccer or whatever. And yeah, it was a very powerful moment in my life. It was very hard, but very rewarding.
When did you get into the horse side of things? Like when did the horse become part of your life?
So the horse was, I always say the horse is in my life before I could walk. Like my name is Filipe because it means a friend of horses. My dad had me on top of a quarter horse before I could walk. He loved to rope and cut and all that rodeo. He used to ride bulls and broncs, and I wanted to be a cowboy like my old man. From the moment I came out of the wound and saw that, I was like, I want to be a cowboy. And but when we moved to Canada, you know, being an immigrant, things are very expensive, right? First of all, your money is worth like, you know, nothing when you get here, and you got to start your life from nothing. So the horse left my life for the first couple of years. We didn't have enough money to have horses, and then after, I want to say we were here from 9 to 11. Like my dad got his kind of footing under him and started working. My mom started working, and things got better. And my dad's friends were doing a backpack trip out west. And my dad sent me with his friends, these older guys, and I came out. I was super young, backpacking, and I went to the Calgary Stampede. And that's when everything came together again. I was there watching the tie-down rope, and I was like, oh, damn, like, this is what's missing from my life. So went back to Ontario. I was 12 at this point, and then found the Ontario Roping Association, found Jason Thompson, who became a huge mentor in my life and taught me to rope and shoe, and a lot of the things I know today from horses came from him. And then started tie-down roping again, did all the high school stuff, and then never stopped. But for a few years there when we moved to Ontario, kind of got away from the horse.
And when did this idea come to be then? Because you started when you would have been like 20, like you set out at like, I think we're the same age. So you must have set out at 22.
25 I started riding.
25.
Yeah.
Started the trip. Okay.
Yep.
So you're 38 then now, or
39.
39.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a time when you go to film school.
Yep.
And you high school rodeo, then you go to the Ontario, like the IPRA shows probably.
Yep. Ontario Rodeo Association
ORA,
at the time.
okay.
Yeah, ORA.
And then like how does this idea get started? Where does it begin where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna ride 27,000 kilometers over a 10-year span?
Well, it's crazy because like people think I just woke up one day, right? And I'm
Like I want to do this.
I got an
That's
idea.
not how that happens.
Hold my beer. No, so it was very gradual. Like when I was a little kid, my dad used to read a book to me about a Swiss school teacher who rode horseback from Argentina, where your mom is right now, to New York on the back of a horse, 1925. And I don't know why, but like I was just so captivated by the story. I was like, oh my God, like my mind was blown. I remember being on my little horse, you know, at the farm in Brazil, imagining I was that guy and crossing the rivers and the mountains and all that. And then it just kind of like, it just lived inside of me. Like I never really told anybody about it, but years went by and I'd always like think like, man, like, could it be possible today? Like always on horseback, you know, you're roping or you're riding, and then it slowly like started becoming stronger and stronger. And then I saw an opportunity on my last year of school. I was like, damn, can you imagine like doing this today and not only writing a book about it, but like filming it and showing, you know, because I saw that the guy rode 30 kilometers every day. Like it was completely different than riding a bike or a motorcycle or a car. Like you have to go into people's homes. You got to find food for the horses and shelter and whatnot. So the connection between you and the local people is so much stronger, right? And then the last year I started Googling it. I'm like, is it possible to like do it today? And then I found this organization called the Long Riders Guild, and they had people on there doing trips at that time, like Russia and in South America, and everyone that had done it and was wanting to do it. And that's when it was like, okay, this is real. Like this could happen. And then from that point on, I always say like I took it out of a dream. It wasn't a dream no longer. It became a project. And then I started working on it.
And how did you decide to start in Calgary?
So originally I was going to start from Toronto because that's where I was living in Ontario, and it's always like, man, how do you pay for this? Well, you need sponsorship. So I'm going to leave from Toronto. It's a big name. And then I'll ride to Brazil. But then when I started studying the routes and talking to people that had done this, it was like, I couldn't go because it was on top of New York. It was highly populated areas of the world, and it would have been so hard to find places to sleep and ranches.
You can't just take the interstate.
Exactly. And you can, but it makes life a lot harder. So then it was like, okay, how about Western Canada? Oh, shoot. If I'm going to leave from Western Canada, why not leave from the Calgary Stampede? It became, this year is going to be the Centennial, or next year when I was planning, is going to become the Centennial Calgary Stampede. Let's do it from there. And then got in contact with the Stampede, and they allowed me to leave. And then it just made so much more sense to ride through Alberta, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and to like a big part of what I was doing was celebrating Western culture. And why not leave from Calgary and get to Bajitos? It's really cool to, I always tell people when I do these talks, like when you start a project, it may not look anything like what it ends up becoming because it takes life, it becomes a being, it breeds and it changes and it evolves. And to look at my original plan when I said I was going to do this and what ended up happening, it's nothing like what ended up happening. I was just going to ride to Bajitos. Like now I've crossed all of the Americas. You know what I mean? It was 16,000 kilometers and ended up being 27,000. There were places I never imagined I was going to go on a horse, but life just kind of took me. The project became its own being, and today it's totally different than when it started.
Well, and I want to say, I could be wrong here, but the most dangerous and highly populated part of your ride would have been through Central America, I'm assuming. Like
Mexico.
Mexico.
Mexico City.
Yeah.
Most populated city in the Americas.
In all of the Americas.
Yeah. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah. I just I know there's different parts where there's like cartel folks and like you saw two people get shot and killed, like murdered in the street or on the side of the road, or I don't know. I mean, but once you get to like that's the most populated part. That's where the people are probably the biggest danger. Honestly, like it's kind of scary to say it or like kind of odd, but like the people are the most dangerous part. Where from like Alaska to Calgary, it's like it's not very populated.
Yeah.
You're kind of on your own. Luckily, Claire was with you in the motorhome. Like, you'd be screwed.
A lot of bears, though.
Yeah, a lot of bears.
Yeah.
But they don't want much to do with you, though, really, do they?
You might have got chased don't till they do. Like, it's just, I don't know. My thing about bears is like 99% of the time, they're just going to like sniff you out and try to figure out where you are and walk away, right? But then there's that 1% chance that the sugar is going to go off in his head and he's just not going to stop till you're dead or till half your head's gone, right? Like, you ever see those books about the guys that survived the bear attacks?
I haven't. I'm a little nervous to think about it.
Google those photos after. It doesn't end well. It doesn't. They're alive, but there's only half.
Not very alive.
But no, but it's different challenges. Honestly, like yes, 100%. Man probably is the most dangerous beast, and
the vehicles, like driving the vehicles and horses.
That's what I was gonna get.
People are just too friggin' stupid to realize.
There were places where like I was riding horses. If I stuck my arm out, they would hit my arm. And I got 3 horses. Like one's carrying a pack saddle. Horses. There's a plastic bag over here, and everyone's on top of the highway. And there are transport trucks just licking me at like 100, 120 kilometers an hour.
God.
So yeah, it was sketchy as hell. Those moments in Central America. South America, Mexico, there's not a lot of trails like the US and Canada. There's trail systems, there's smaller roads, but when you're just trying to ride 16,000 kilometers, 7,000 kilometers south, you got to take the quickest and straightest route, and a lot of those are major highways, right? And yeah, it sucked, bro. Like, it's no fun to ride out there.
No.
Yeah.
How many times did you almost die?
I couldn't tell you straight up, but because there were so many, a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly vehicles, I'm assuming.
Yeah, vehicles, bears, drug lords, like you name it. There was a lot of sketchy moments out there. Like every day is just like I'm blessed to be alive today. Like every day you're going to war, and every day you got to be on top of your horses, and you got to be watching out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a million things that could happen. Like we know people that are listeners that have horses know that things can get western real quick.
Oh yeah.
Usually when you're at your ranch, right? Like 20 kilometers or 5 kilometers from your house. But imagine when you're in the middle of the Chihuahua Desert or when you're in the middle of jungles. Like my dad, I retired the horses when I got to Brazil, and my dad went to ride them 3 months later, and Frenchie, one of my horses at Palomino, bucked him off and broke his leg, like in 2 spots. And
That's
it's
the start
like,
of the next book, the second book.
yeah, exactly. So it's like,
Oh, wow.
it's like, man, that could have happened to me a million places, anytime, anywhere, like 8 years. And yeah, it's crazy. I'm very blessed to be alive.
How, like, what was the most memorable time where you thought you were dying? What was going on? Like, you explained it so well in the books, and for those that haven't read the books, you can get them on Amazon.
Yep.
Check them out on your website, social medias. If you don't know Filipe yet, make sure to check him out on the social medias on his website. Watch the documentary, but like, you describe everything so well in the books. Like, give us a little story of when you thought you were dying, or what was the closest. How many times did you get malaria?
Nah, man.
Or the yellow fever.
The scariest moment, like there were moments where, you think you're gonna die, but the scariest moment of everything, where I was like, man, I might die. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen next. Was when I was in Tegucigalpa, the capital of Honduras. I was staying at a house. It's a very dangerous place, the most dangerous country in the world, like most amount of deaths per capita. The capital is extremely dangerous, and one of my horses was hurt, and the only vet was at the capital, so we had to stay there for a month. And one day I was talking to my parents through Skype, and all of a sudden I started hearing these gunshots and this woman yelling for her life, and the owner of the house was trying to kill his wife. He tried to shoot her 5 times right outside my window. I was the only person staying there at the time. So at the end of the deal, everything went quiet. I didn't know if he had killed her. And obviously the thought process was, okay, I'm the only person that is hearing this or listening to this right now or seeing this. So he's going to come kill me next, right? If he's killed her. So yeah, that was a terrible night, and you just don't know what's going to happen next, right? You don't sleep. You still think about it to this day, and I still get anxiety over it. But yeah, that moment sucked.
And there was a number of times with horses, and correct me if I'm wrong too, but one spot where you lost a horse, is that correct?
Yeah, I lost a horse in the southern tip of Argentina when I was getting to Ushuaia. My second ride, I was 4 days from the end. Real crazy. Like, it was just, I wanted to stop the trip. This horse got a terrible intoxication. We gave him some alfalfa pellets, like these cubes, and one of the horses was okay, and the other one just went into this terrible colic, and yeah, he faced intoxication, and we weren't able to overturn what he was facing. Ended up passing away. So really hard moment where I just, like, you just question everything, right? Like 4 days from the end, like, this is a almost 2-year trip. It's 7,500 kilometers, and I had 100 kilometers left, and this horse dies. And but one of the big lessons from, I think, this journey is that everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And you got to enjoy it. You never know when that last day is, right? And we did everything we could to save him, but ultimately it was, for whatever reason, that was his day to check out, right? And yeah, it was a very hard moment of the trip, but I think one that taught me a lot of lessons that I'll take with me for the rest of my life.
Well, and the thought that was going through my head was, like, was it worth it to, like, go and do that and then have your, like, lose your horse? Like, I just can't imagine the pain of going and doing this and having this animal with you for however long. It's making me want to, like, cry right now thinking about it. But, like, I can't imagine what you're going through at that point. And you've already ridden from Calgary to there over, like, probably, like, what, like a 6-year span or 5-year span?
Yeah.
There wasn't much time in between.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine, like, how fucking broken your heart was at that point.
Oh yeah, bro.
Like, the first chapter of the second book explains kind of what's going on. And, like, I was kind of hoping he was pulling through there, the way you leave it on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But, like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like, it's real life, right? It's visceral, and we all go through it. We all face loss at some point in our lives, and it's never easy. And again, I just think that it's one of the things that we tend to forget, right? We try to guess all these things. We worry about problems that in 10, 20, 30 years you won't even remember why you were worried about. But the real stuff, like the fact of the matter is, this is going to end, right? Like, we all have an expiry date on this earth, and we tend to forget that, and we fought with everything we could for that horse's life, and unfortunately we all have horses, we all have animals, we all have family members, and we know that, you know, sometimes you can do everything you can, and when God says this is the day, and yeah, like I said, I didn't want to finish. I thought about quitting. I thought about like why I was out there. You know, you question everything that has just happened, but you know, I think the big lesson is that you got to keep going. You know, that horse had helped me get so far, and for the other horse that was with me, it wasn't fair to stop then. For me, it wasn't fair. Like, you know, you only eat after these animals have eaten. You only drink after they have had a drink of water, and what happened wasn't because I was riding him somewhere, or you know, it just happened. Like there was something wrong with those cubes that he ate. We don't know if. At the end, the vet, talking to the vet and different people, we came to the conclusion that, okay, some of those cubes expired? Did some of those cubes come faulty from the place that made them? Did a rat pee on top of the bag and the horse consumed, you know, the cubes that had that rat's urine on it, or what happened? Because, you know, other horses had eaten, and like I said, the other horse was fine. This one wasn't. But ultimately, it was something that could have happened anywhere. It could have happened with him at home. It could have happened with him at the ranch or in Ushuaia. But yeah, it was a really, really tough moment that made me question everything. That's for sure.
Where did you and Claire meet on that trip, though? Because that was somewhere very close by, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was close by. Claire was she lives in El Bolson, a town just south of Bariloche. It's about 2 hours south, and I had the blessing of meeting her stepdad first, and he helped me out, and he said, oh, when you guys get to my town in about 2 or 3 days, I'm going to bring my daughters to meet you guys, and he invited us to go have dinner at his house, and then I ended up kicking it off with Clara, and it changed my life. We met, and we just got married a year ago. So yeah, it was I never expected I would meet the love of my life in Patagonia.
Well, and especially like going back to that second book as well,
Yep.
like you just had ended another relationship.
Yep.
I guess it would have been already like 2 years prior when you started that ride. So it was a couple years later, and you had a little bit of time to think.
Yeah.
While you're on the trip, but
For sure.
it was. I was reading that it was pretty rough to go from that with your, you know, parents weren't kind of getting along with that partner at the time, and she went back, and it was kind of over. Like it was, but then you go and, you know, everything happens for a reason, as my mom tells me.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. That's another big lesson of what I've done here is that I was an atheist before I started this journey, before I left Calgary, and I think one of the big reasons why I had to undertake this, like oftentimes I'd be out there, you know, by myself, tired, hurting, like scared, in solitude, and I'd be like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, why am I here? Like, this makes no sense. My friends are in a bar right now having fun, drinking beer, and I'm in the middle of Wyoming. Like, just why am I here? And I think a big part of it, looking back today and having that separation from the whole deal to think about it, is that I had to find God. You know, I had to find my spirituality. I'm a much stronger person today because of it. And yeah, once you realize everything's written by the same hand, and you have faith, I think it helps with a lot of scenarios and a lot of moments when you're at the bottom. And yeah, you know, I got to Brazil. I was, when I finished that first trip, I was never going to go on another trip. You know, that was the end of the dream. And I was a broken man. Like, I had symptoms of PTSD, you know, anxiety, recurring nightmares. I faced depression and started drinking a lot, and was harboring all that inside of me. Was embarrassed to talk to people about it and never opened up. And looking back now, it was a moment of transition, you know, and lost that girlfriend at the time, and which I look back and I think that was the end of our journey, you know what I mean? Although she was extremely important to my journey, and I think I was important to hers as well, it had an end, and that's okay, you know, life is like that. And then little did I know I was going to meet Clara 2 years later in this journey I never imagined I'd go on, but it all started when I was at that really tough moment after I'd finished the first trip, and I went to do a talk at a children's cancer hospital in Brazil, and that's what motivated me to go on this second journey, was to raise funds for those kids, and then that second journey, when I got to the end, kind of inspired me to go on the third one, which was to finish the Americas, and here we are talking today.
So we get to the tip of Argentina, southern part of Patagonia, and you're what are you, 7 years into this now? I guess. And 5 and a
No.
half?
So I left in 2012. I get to the southern tip of Patagonia in 2017.
17.
Yes, sir.
And when you're going for, like that 2-year stretch, like, do you go back to Toronto at all? Like, do the horses take a break? You're on the road.
The horses take breaks.
away.
You always
you gotta
ride at
stop
their
for a while.
pace. Yeah, you ride 3 days, you stop 2. You ride 5, you stop a month. Like, if the horses are losing weight, if the horses you stop, you wait.
Yeah.
Get them better, you go again. But if the horses are good, you ride. But yeah, for those that first trip from Canada to Brazil, I'm on the road the whole time with them. If we're waiting, I'm waiting with them wherever I am, and then once they're better, we continue on. But never went home till I got to my parents' home in Brazil.
Holy.
Yeah.
Holy. Man, I'm thinking about the process of writing the book. So actually going and writing. What is that process like? Are you writing like every night? Are you writing like, you obviously have some time on your hands if you're stuck somewhere for a month. If you're in Honduras for a month and you're waiting on health tests for your horses, or you're shipping footage back, or I can't imagine I was going to be stuck in Dallas this weekend. I left early because I didn't want to be stuck there for 2 days and I want to make sure we got this done today.
Nice.
But I can't imagine being friggin' stuck in these places for that kind of amount of time. But I guess this is your main goal at the time, and if you're committed to that, you're going to get it done. Yeah. But, the writing process, the filming process, do you keep a journal every day that you're writing in, or are you on your computer typing out what happened that day, or what is that process like? Yeah,
for sure. So I would write in my journal probably once a week. Once we got somewhere that we were resting, I would write down everything that had happened, a lot of details. The best part about a good book is a book that allows you to paint a picture in your mind of the scene in which the author is showing you. And the only way to do that is to describe the scene, as in
lots of detail.
In lots of details. And the only way to remember those details is to write things down. So if I'm at the drug lord's house, I'm writing down all the animals he had in the zoo. I'm writing down that the table was the exact replica of the last meal. I'm writing down the color of the pillows. I'm writing down the color of his wife's hair. I'm writing everything down, the color of his gun. And so that stuff I would write in a journal. Then the production company that sponsored me, I would also write 3 blogs a week for them. So that was stuff that was more at the surface, right? I'm not going to write about the drug lord or, things that I couldn't at the time. But, the Ted Stoven hosted me at his ranch for 3 days, and he raises cattle, and he's got horses, and he's got 3 kids. So that stuff was already there. So when I got to Brazil, on that first trip, I printed everything, all the blogs. I got all my journals out, and then I rewrote the beast. It took me 7 months to write the book. It took me about 3 years to get it printed. We got it printed in Brazil first. I sold the book to HarperCollins in Brazil, and then so it got printed in Portuguese first. Although I wrote it in English, got translated to Portuguese, and then we printed it in English. But yeah, it's it's a beast, bro, and it's hard. I don't enjoy writing. It's a very it's solitude again, right? You're by yourself. Most days you don't feel excited to write. This idea that you're just gonna sit there and everything's gonna come out of you is BS. 90% of the days you force yourself and stare at a blank page till something comes out. But I always knew it was very important for me I wanted to tell the story. I wanted to inspire other people and take them on the journey with me.
And on the video side, that just seems like a huge pain in the ass when you're trying to look after horses and stuff's going on like that. Yeah. But the ride, the actual part of it, we talked about the population side of things, where there's more people between, Calgary and Barretos than there is between, the bulk of the population is in that stretch where you're mostly by yourself. Yeah. From after you get away from the people in Brazil and in the south of Brazil, it gets pretty desolate, and it was probably pretty desolate between Alberta and honestly most of North America till you got to Central America was probably pretty desolate. Yeah, wasn't a lot going on. Did you have a support vehicle with you on that first trip, or did you learn really fast that you needed to have that the next couple trips?
Yeah.
Because your buddy from Toronto came with you the second half.
Yeah.
Claire was with you the third.
Clara met me down.
Final
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, man. That
First
was
one you're just on your own, just fucking letting her blow in the wind.
Yeah, it's terrible, bro. Like it's just the anxiety with the animals. Like that's the hardest part.
Well,
like
not knowing where you're sleeping every night either.
Yeah,
or where
yeah.
they're eating. Like I can't.
You know, you deal with that. Like you deal with that. Like okay, I don't know if there's gonna be a place for me to sleep or not, but whatever. You get through it. But the problem's like, is there gonna be water for the horses? Like there wasn't. There was moments on that first trip where they'd be 2 days with no water, and you're just like, oh my god, this horse is gonna die. Like at any moment, he's gonna have colic and just fucking die. And you're just wake up the next day and you're out there trying to find water and that kind of stuff. Like it just starts to get to your head, right? Like I value my sanity, my mental health, and not only doing what I did, I realized it was a perfect recipe for like to go crazy. Like you got animals, you're by yourself, solitude, and facing very harsh conditions all the time. But I talk to people that have done this, like a huge part of my strategic planning. I talk about this all the time, you know, better than me. Like anything in life, success and failure isn't just chance. It's called planning. You know what I mean? Nothing happens for a reason. And when I was planning, I talked to people that had done these long rides, and some of them I very quickly realized they had gone off the deep end. And I was like, I want to make sure that doesn't happen to me. So yeah, the second and the third trip, I made sure there wasn't always someone with me because it's hard. Like you drive real slow. It's no one wants to be out there for the whole time, right? But at least the hardest parts where I knew there wasn't going to be water or I knew there wasn't going to be feed for the horses, I had someone out there with me. So every night I had the basic to offer these animals, which was water and food.
Holy. And so you were by yourself for most of the North
first
America?
trip, yeah, 90% of it I was by myself. Yeah.
Holy shit. And then you just had a little tent and a bedroll and would sleep on the
highline the horses and sleep in the tent. But the best part about the trip as well is like the kindness of humanity. Like it's unbelievable. Like people are so good, man. Like I rode 27,000 kilometers and like every house I knocked on the door, no one ever said no. You know, people always helped me. They gave me water. They gave me food. They gave me horses. They gave me whatever, you name it. It's unbelievable to see how kind people are. In some of the countries where they said they're going to kill me, right? Like Guatemala, like in Mexico and Honduras, like they're going to kill you. Like these people are bad people. And you realize 99.9% of people are good. And the 0.00001% that we see that the news just keep shoving down our throat, that is the 0.00001%. But when you see it over and over again, you think that that's the majority of people, right? But that's the furthest thing from the truth. When you put yourself out there and you got to knock and ask for help, I would always, like, if there was a house, a ranch, a shack, whatever, I would approach and ask for help and ask to pitch the tent outside or, you know, get water, whatever. And they would always put me in their house. They'd feed me. It's unbelievable.
How did you end up on the drug lord's house? How did this happen?
So
I get this question all the time, but it's very intriguing to me on like, how do you end up at this drug lord's place? And I'm assuming Mexico.
No, so
this was Honduras.
It was in Mexico. We were around them, but we never really depended on them for help. But in Central America, what ended up happening is like one of the hardest parts about what I did is crossing borders with the same horses.
Oh,
like this is something people don't think about, right? But there are viruses that exist in one country that don't exist in another. So every border you get to, there are rules and regulations that only exist in that country. And you got to export and import these animals, right? So,
shit.
Yeah, so that's
every
another.
Time.
Every border you get to.
What a mess. What a mess.
Yeah, and usually when you do this, it's like, oh, it's a Pan American Games or it's the Olympics. Like, that's why you're moving these horses, right? So there's a whole, like, things that are created just for that event, right? Wow. So they kind of make the rules easier. You're not exporting or importing the animal. It's only in transit. And so when you show
technically in transit.
Yeah, I'm technically in transit, but I'm coming into contact with a lot of different horses.
Yeah.
They're not. They land, let's say there's going to be something going on here. They land at the Calgary airport. They'll quarantine them for a few days somewhere. They won't come into contact with any other horses. Mm-hmm. Then they'll take them from that location to Spruce Meadows, let's say. They also will not come into contact with any other horses per se. They'll run their course, do their jumps, come back, fly home. I was going from ranch to ranch every 30 kilometers. Like my horses were coming into contact with different animals. And anyways, it became so complicated when you show up to one of these borders. They don't even know what to do with you. No one's ever showed up there with the horses. And so I had to cross all these countries in Central America illegally. So
no shit.
Yeah, so that's why I had to become friends with the drug lords, because that's where they run the drugs, right? So you can't just like show up one day, because they'll kill you and then find out like who is this guy? Like, what's he doing here?
Oh shit.
Yeah, so this moment you're talking about that's in my documentary was Guatemala, Honduras, and a rancher that I'd met in Guatemala who kind of adopted me. There was always like the one family that went like the extra mile and like literally
helped
like
you out.
adopt you, like, and then just keep tabs on you, come check up on you. And so anyway, so he was very worried for my safety, and he said, okay, when we got close to the border, he said, I'm going to take you somewhere. Someone's going to keep you safe. He didn't tell me where. I wish he would have. And we get to this like compound, and he knocks on this metal door, and this little slit opens, and the guy asks who it is. He says his name. The door opens, and then I just went into this home of the Guatemalan drug lord. Everyone's got AK-47s, and they were super nice to me. And then the guy said, yeah, no problem. Introduced me to the Honduran drug lord. He was there at the time, and they gave me safe passage. And when he helped me in the Guatemalan side, and then passed me off to the Honduran drug lord, and he kept me safe during that border. And that continued through the borders in Central America.
But then you end up going to like from Honduras, Guatemala, you end up in Panama, and then
so you get to
Colombia?
Panama, then we had to ship the horses to Peru.
you gotta ship them.
Yeah, because there's the Darien Gap there. There's a Panama Canal. We ran into a huge problem with the bureaucracy, and because then we had to enter legally, because there's no way to do it illegally, because you got to ship them. And anyways, it was a huge problem. Peru was the only country that allowed us to enter. So then we had to go into Peru. We were like locked up there for several days as well. They had to pay everyone off, and then we're able to continue from Peru.
With what money?
That's the thing. What money? Yeah, you find money. Yeah, you find money, sponsors. It was crazy, but sometimes like you just had to you had to ask people and be like, all right, this happened. I need money, and your sponsors would come through, thankfully.
Holy shit. You luckily didn't have to go full Trailer Park Boys and hook for cheeseburgers.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God I didn't have to get that low.
As like somebody from Toronto, you'd have to be familiar with those.
100%.
Holy shit. So you end up there, Peru, but Peru's not quite the right Peru's not totally the right path, I guess, technically, right? That kind of throws things off a little bit.
Well,
like,
no,
I was. Did you go back north, or I forget? I don't know the geography.
No. I was gonna go because even if I went into Colombia, in between Colombia and Brazil is the Amazon, right? It's a jungle.
There's no passage.
There's no roads. There's nothing. You can take a boat, but you'd have to like go like 200 kilometers on a boat, and then So I was always gonna go around. I was always gonna go. Because then you go around the Amazon. I went through Peru, Bolivia, and then from Bolivia into Brazil.
Oh, wow.
But it became hard because of the Andes. Like, that was a really hard part to...
Can't imagine.
Yeah, the very tall mountains, very hard, very hairy, yeah.
Holy shit. And you had to go, like, right over the fucking top of them, essentially. Because there's no... Yeah. There's a couple of valleys here and there, but essentially you got to get
You got to
really
cross them.
high.
Yeah, you got to cross them. And, it was some sketchy riding and not a lot of air. And... It was really funny. One day we were in between Peru and Bolivia, and we're just hitting switchback, and you had to go really slow because the horses weren't adapted to that altitude. And
you weren't either.
Yeah, and I wasn't either. So we're just kind of sitting there. You know, you'd ride like 500 meters and stop for like an hour and then ride. So we're just sitting there waiting.
Who was with you at this point?
Just myself and the horses.
Was it Matt? Who's your buddy that was with you at the vehicle?
Mark. That's the second trip. Yeah.
Sorry.
So we're still in the
this
first.
One you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And we're just sitting there waiting, and all of a sudden I hear these little steps, and I look back, and there's this Bolivian woman, and she's got a sack tied to her head of like wood that looks extremely heavy, and she's wearing leather flip-flops and a skirt. And she is just walking straight up this fucking mountain, and she passes the horses and we watch her, and she just goes over the summit. And I look at the horses, and I'm like, you guys, like that lady's carrying like 50 pounds on her back, going straight up the mountain, doesn't stop for air. And we're taking the switchbacks, and we can't even go up.
Skirt and friggin' sandals.
Yeah, we felt pretty weak at that point. But everything's like how you adapt, right? This woman had been doing this probably since she was a baby.
Holy crap.
But it was great. They're so strong, man. It's unbelievable the strength they have. Old lady strength, like in the mountains. Yeah, it's a real thing.
Well, and so that's the route over there, and then you get to like it's probably a little bit better. The closer you get to Brazil, the more local support you have. I assume.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
Brazil was just like one huge party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
couldn't
'cause
even
you're getting to
ride.
the
People
end
passing me
and-
babies. Like it was
Yeah.
so dangerous. Like on the
Holy
side of the road.
shit.
Take a picture with my like 2-month-old baby
Yeah.
as trucks blow by and I'm on top of a horse
Oh my
and I
God.
got 2 other horses behind me. I'm like, oh my God, take this child off my hands.
Oh my God.
We had to like put out like in the news, like they started sending messages to people like, please don't stop. It could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like an accident's gonna happen. They wouldn't let me ride. Like literally every like kilometer, someone would pull over, and then they would just want to talk and tell me their story, which was nice. It was really nice. Like it meant a lot to these people, right? And they were following. It was all over the news, and but it was dangerous, right? Like
Holy shit. Holy shit. So, yeah, Peru, Bolivia, Brazil.
Yep.
Get to Barretos.
Yep.
How long's the break between the first ride and the second
A
one?
year and a little bit.
A year and a bit.
Yeah.
And you're back in Toronto briefly?
Nope. I'm in Brazil. I came
the whole
back
time?
to see my friends, but living in Brazil, planning for the second trip.
No way.
Yeah.
Because there was a pretty, like, the start of the book, there's a pretty dark time there where
Yeah.
you're like, you're not doing so good. Like, you already mentioned the nightmares and the
Yeah.
anxiety, the PTSD.
Yeah.
and
It was just kind of like
you don't feel whole, though.
I just lost purpose. Like it took so
Yeah.
much like it took
You
so
probably
much focus and so much grit and so much like everything I had in my body to get there that you don't think about what's next. Right. And today I read books about it. Michael Phelps is a great documentary. Like there are tons of Olympic athletes. There's tons of people that devote long periods of times to a certain goal that when you get there, there's this vacuum effect because it's like, what the fuck do I do now? It becomes your identity. I think a lot of guys that chase gold buckles their whole lives is the same thing, right? Because that becomes who you are. And then when you're not that, who are you, right? And
Yeah, you're a bull rider, but then what do you do when you're not?
when
a
you
bull rider?
retire, you know what I mean? Like, who are you? And the same thing. Like, it's just so hard, as you know, like to be a professional cowboy, and it takes so much grit and focus. And if you want to win, you got to be the best of the best, and that's all you can think about. But then you don't think about the next, what happens next, and that was a big. Also teaching moment in my life that you got to start planning the next journey before you get off the one you're on. The one you're on, because it's not just gonna be one purpose; it will be many, right? And I think I was just kind of I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know what the next step was. I lost purpose, and I was trying to like figure out who I was at the same time. And yeah, thankfully, that hospital kind of shook me up and it gave me a new purpose in my life, and I wasn't done. Like I had to do more for whatever reason, and I think a lot of it was to meet Clara, to kind of find myself again, and to be able now to do these talks and talk to people that may be going through the same thing, and I can show them that there is a path on the other side, that as dark as it may seem, you will get through it. You know what I mean? Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I look back today, it's easy to look back when you've gone through it, but at that moment, man, when they were in those valleys, it's tough.
And you get through the second ride, and then it's a bit more of a gap before the final leg.
Yeah, so I finished that ride in 2017, and then I started the last ride in 2019, so 2 years.
2 more years.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more of like gathering funding, planning, getting things ready to go, figuring out. You originally were going to ride down Highway 22, but that was pretty busy.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm just going to go down the trunk road, which is probably a brilliant idea.
Oh, it was
traffic.
amazing, bro. It was
Way
actually,
better.
yeah.
Unreal views the whole time. Like
It was so
all the way
beautiful.
from like Hinton to like Calgary is just like
Unbelievable, bro.
nobody's bugging you except for like myself.
And the good people, the people that want to find you, right? That want to work hard to find you. Yeah, unbelievable, man. The forestry trunk road, like, and it's set up to camp like every night. There was tons of grass.
Yeah.
There's always a stream nearby. Like, there's always a place to highline the horses. We'd hobble them for hours because there's no car traffic out there, and they're just eating grass up to their freaking knees, and you don't have to worry about them because even if they get a little bit away, they're fine. You got the bell on them.
Was that one kind of easy? Was it easier?
It wasn't easier because of the terrain. Like, once we left Fairbanks, and then until we got to Whitehorse, there was nothing.
Yeah,
we're talking about 1,000 kilometers. No people, no place to buy hay, no place, and it's all like you look at it.
And when did you start? Because that one you did 2 different segments,
I started in like
right?
April, May of 2019. Yeah,
you rode all summer, like all the way to like October.
Stopped the Grand Prairie and then continued again.
Because you didn't mess with the winter.
No,
that
no
would
way.
not have worked.
It would not be fun, man.
No.
-20 wind.
Would not have worked.
But yeah, man.
Where'd the horses stay for that winter?
We shipped. They're from the Okanagan Valley. They're 2 wild horses, so we shipped them back. They spend the winter there and then ship them back up to start out again. But yeah, that journey just had different hurdles and different adversity. You know,
I can't
like,
imagine the first part for what there's nobody. Like it's just
Yeah.
you and the bears
exactly
and the moose and the
3
deer and
bears a
caribou
day.
and 3 bears a day.
We were crossing 3 bears a day. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And like the other part is the terrain. Like you look at these places on Google Maps and
It
you're
looks
like,
flat.
well, it looks flat, but no, it's flat. Have you heard of the Northern Rockies? No, but you look at it and you're like, there's nothing up there. Why is there not a ranch? Like,
Yeah.
I understand they're not being towns, but why is it literally just the Alaska highway cutting thousands of kilometers of wilderness? But then you get up there and you realize it's all muskeg. You get like 3 steps out of the road and it's like you're walking on a water mattress.
No shit.
That's why there's nothing up there, because it's just water. And that's why it was so hard to build that freaking highway. Like you read the stories, it was like insane. They only built it because the Japanese started landing during World War II up there. And they were like, the Americans were like, okay, we need to build this road. But the military had to go out there literally and just like build a road in the middle of nowhere. And it was very hard because it's all muskeg. And so, yeah, that was tough. We literally just had to take this one road. You couldn't get off it. Like the freaking flies up there the size of helicopters, and there's bears, and it was wild, man. It's a wild place, but it worked out. Yeah.
And how did you feel after the end of the second ride? Like you lose your horse.
Yeah.
Like that had to be part of the reason that there was a bit more of a gap. Like you had to take a bit of a break there. Or like, what's your mental state after you finish in Patagonia?
Yeah, Patagonia was tough, but I think a lot better than the first trip. Even though I lost that horse, I dealt with different adversity. Like I had prepared myself for what's next and just keep moving forward, you know what I mean? And so I think I was in a better headspace. I had just met Clara. That was a huge part of it. And just start like grinding. Like what is it going to take to do this last stretch?
Okay.
Where are we going to find the horses? How do we prepare the route? Just keeping busy and just honing in on that purpose and getting it done.
I was surprised to hear so much about the quarter horses in Brazil.
Oh, it's
I didn't
crazy.
realize that was like so much of a thing there. But like the first little stretch on that second ride to like go from the different ranches to ranches, and I was really intrigued by all that. I've been there a couple times, like myself, know a little bit about Brazil, very very little amount, but like, yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. There's a lot of barrel racing down there, Devin.
Yep, the best barrel horses are in Brazil today. Like it's unbelievable how much money they've invested. You know, to tell you the honest truth, bro, like Brazil's going to take over the horse world very slowly. It already has. Yeah, it's going to be the same thing as bull riding.
No shit, eh?
It took Adriano Moraes to come up here.
Yeah.
And then it always takes the first person, right? And then look what we have today.
But like the line you have about bull riding in Brazil is it can give a guy a leg up. And I think we talked about this last time, but like you can make your way out of poverty in Brazil by bull riding.
Exactly.
Where in Canada and the US, like it's another job.
Yeah.
It doesn't pay good and you risk your life.
It's just this is the thing.
Unfortunately,
like, it's like
for most bull riders.
For good or for better or for worse, in North America, majority of people are comfortable.
Yeah, true.
And there's a great line that I love that I read in a book once, that comfort is the enemy of success.
Good one.
So you can be as good as you want to be, but when you are hungry, like really hungry.
Yeah, like starving hungry.
Like starving hungry, the focus you have, the tenacity you have, the pains you don't feel is solely different from someone that can buy a trailer, that can buy a horse, that can buy a truck, you know? And I think that's why, again, the example of bull riding, like you see the way those guys ride bulls, it's just different. Like why are they better than the Americans and the Canadians? Not because they're built different. They're the exact same. Their heart's the same. Their mind's the same. It's just because they want it more because of the way they were brought up.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
honestly,
they have an extra, and that's going to happen with, look at Testinha, look at Marcos. They were the first guys to come up here in the PRCA and win gold buckles outside of bull riding. And now we're seeing more guys come up. And eventually you're gonna turn on the television at the NFR, and I feel like a lot of those guys are gonna be Brazilian. And now we're seeing the reining. The Brazilians are coming up, and they're taking over the reining. They're gonna take over the barrel racing. Like,
oh, shit, eh?
It's crazy, man. Watch out. Next few years, you're gonna see a lot more Brazilians in the horse world, and it's cool to see what's going on down there. And it all started with the King Ranch, as you read in my book. Yeah, they took a stud and a couple mares down, bought a ranch, and Brazil's just built for cowboys. You know, we got ranches with 80,000 head of cattle. Like, it's like Canada 60 years ago or the US, you know, like it's still the old kind of way of doing things on the back of a horse. There's places where you can't get a truck or you can't get a quad. You got to get on the back of a mule and a horse and work the cattle and go find them and walk them out of the wetlands and things like that. So yeah, it's a big deal in Brazil.
What about the next step, I guess? Like we can talk about the story, but I think a lot of the stories are in the books. Like you got to read the stories in the books.
Yeah.
We're giving you a little taste of that. You got to watch the documentary.
Yes, sir.
People can find it just looking up The Long Rider, right?
Yep. Long Rider.
Look up The Long Rider. Your website, social media, like they can find you there.
Yeah.
But like today, what's Filipe's identity? Who are you now? What are you doing? What's next? You talk about having a plan for the future. Like, we see you on the Wrangler Network. We see you on the Calgary Stampede broadcast. You're doing a lot of speaking engagements. You're going to pack your bag tonight to go to Brazil tomorrow.
Yep.
What is now and what is next for you, Filipe?
So now I think it's just I'm finally harvesting everything I planted. You know what I mean? Like, I worked really hard. I almost died a million times, as you saw, like, and as you read by the books, like I wasn't always in the best state of mind, you know, finishing those rides or being on those rides because you're literally going to war, you know, and now I get to kind of capitalize on all that through everything you're saying, you know, through working at the Calgary Stampede and Wrangler and writing for Western Horsemen. Like, these aren't things that just came about, you know, these are all, you know, things that needed to get planted and watered and needed sun and needed to kind of work through a lot of deals. And today I'm a husband. I want to become a father. Like I think my next journey, the next purpose is to start a family. Like, I'd love to raise kids and we want to buy an acreage. We moved to Alberta a year and a half ago, almost 2 years. And we're living in Calgary right now. And we can't wait to get an acreage and wake up with the horses. And we love the lifestyle out here and just to enjoy every day. Like, I feel blessed. Once upon a time, I thought my purpose was to ride from Canada to Brazil. And then that purpose became to go further and raise funds for this hospital. And then it was to finish the Americas. And today I look back and realize that it was all written by the same hand, and it was getting me to my real purpose, which is to speak to people today. I get to travel the world, as you said, and share my story and just motivate people and show them that if you want it bad enough and you're willing to work for it, absolutely nothing is impossible. We all have problems. We all have limitations. We all have fears. But when you put the excuses aside and you bite down on it and really bite down on it, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And people can say excuses to others, but they can't look me in the eyes and give me excuses because I'm the guy that crossed the Americas on the back of a horse, right? So I really feel like this is my purpose. Like, everything I did in life got me to this moment where I can talk about this shit for reals. And people aren't looking at me and saying, what the fuck has that guy done, and tell me I need to work harder. It's like, no, bro, like, fuck, you got to swallow back and say, fuck, this guy did it. Like, he's an immigrant. Like, he didn't have the money. Like, he was just a normal guy, right? And how did he fucking do it?
Yeah. Huh. With the speaking side of things, if somebody wants to hire you to speak, what's your program? What's your, I don't know what that's even called right now.
Yeah.
On the speaking side of things, what are you doing when you're speaking?
So,
like you said, motivation, telling your story a little bit. Or like, give us a little quick synopsis.
So it's tailored for the client. Like, I've talked to Coca-Cola in the United States. I've talked to organizations here in Ontario, in Alberta, all over the world. So basically, it's what you want. Like, you tell me, like, you're gonna say, hey, we just set our goal for this year, and they got to sell $10 million, and these guys are scared. So I'll go in there and I'll talk about impossible goals. I'll talk about the importance of strategic planning. Maybe the team's not working well with each other so much. Maybe they're having leadership problems because of what I lived. Like, there's so many X's that I can hit within my talk, but I think the biggest part of it all is, showing people that if they can work together, if they can plan it, if they can write it down, and they have this like word give up, and they can rip it out of their dictionary, their vocabulary, then they can hit whatever they want. But it's tailored to the client. It depends on what they want me to talk about, but always, honing in on my experiences and using that as an example and trying to translate it to their day to day, because these guys aren't riding by grizzly bears or befriending drug lords, but they have problems that are just as bad in their mind as those were for me at the moment that I was looking at them, right? Everything is relative. Everything is, it's different. Fear is different for everyone, but it feels the same to you that it does to me, no matter what that is generating that fear, whether it's a bear or selling 10 million that year and hitting that quota, right? So it's interesting to them because although it's the same, it's not something they're seeing every day in their daily lives.
So we have a question from the audience, and it's about
Ooh.
horses. Surprise, surprise! It's from the horse school, and it's about horses.
Yeah,
But
great question.
so 2 horses for the first journey, 3.
Started with 2,
Yeah,
and then
gained another
got a
one.
third
Yeah.
Mustang down south.
Yep. And man, I should have refreshed the first book too because I remember reading a bunch of this stuff. But where do they come from?
Yep.
The second time, a couple horses. Then like early on, somebody gives you another horse.
Yeah,
Where's that horse now? Then you got a couple Mustangs that you use on the third leg. But like, yeah, tell us about the story of the horse for these trips.
for sure. Great question. Horses are 99% of my trip, right? Without them, I wouldn't have done a single kilometer. So the first 2 horses, Frenchie and Bruiser, are 2 quarter horses. If you know breeding, one of them's a Dash for Cash and one's a Frenchman's Guy. The worst 2 horses I could have taken on this trip. The barrel racers laughing, of course. And but I always tell people, like, I didn't have the money to buy the horses. People are like, why don't you just take mules? I'm like, where were you to give me a mule before I started?
Yeah,
like,
thanks for
these
the
horses were
help.
given to me. They were given to me. They were ranches that believed in my journey. And we have a saying in Brazil, when someone gives you a horse, they don't check their teeth, right? So I knew these horses are going to be tougher to go on this journey because they were so fragile. But it was just the horses I had, so I had to make it work. I met them 7 days before I left the Calgary Stampede.
Oh, boy.
And then you start conditioning them. So first day you ride a kilometer with these horses, and then you get them used to being ponied. One horse has to take the pack saddle. Some horses don't like to pony well. So you start doing that. Second day you ride 3 kilometers. Third day you ride 5, and you very slowly condition them. And because I didn't have a lot of days, I finished conditioning them on the road. So first day I didn't ride 30 kilometers. First day I rode less. And then after a week you get to that 30 kilometers. And it's very gradual for an animal. I always say that the horse you get at the beginning of the trip and the horse you get at the end are 2 completely different animals. Not only do they look beautiful, like their physical aspect, they're strong, they're just, I feel like their fur is just golden. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but they're just so alive, like, because everything's so natural. But they're mine, man, because you put them through so much. You desensitize them. They go through bridges. They see cars. They see tarps blowing in the wind. Like, these horses face off against anything and everything, and it's just so cool to see their mind mature, from the moment you start riding and the finish. And then on that first trip, I was given a third horse, a Mustang, in the southern United States, and I got to Brazil with those 3 horses. I retired them on my family's ranch, and then the other trips I did each country with its own horse. So the second trip from Brazil to Ushuaia, I learned from the borders. As I told you, it was so hard to cross those borders. I did Brazil with 2 quarter horse mares, Uruguay, other mares, also quarter horses, and then in Argentina I rode 2 Criollo horses from Argentina. And then the last stretch from Alaska to Calgary, I rode 2 wild horses from the Okanagan Valley.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
Yes, sir.
And so where are all the horses now? Like, some of them might not be with us, unfortunately. But yeah, are the 2 from the first leg, like, some of them still with your parents?
Yeah,
Like
Frenchie's still there. Frenchie's still
No way.
retired, 24 years old.
Right on.
He's still in Brazil. The other 2 horses passed away in their retirement, but lived a healthy life, lived for a long time. And then the other horses went back to their owners.
I
They were
guess.
just lent to me,
Oh, yeah.
and then they went back to the original
wow.
owner. Yes,
Right
sir.
on. And what about the one you got given to you in the first little stretch of the second leg there? Somebody gave you a horse?
Yeah,
Pretty early on?
yeah.
Still
He's
there?
still at the farm. He's a roping horse. He
Yeah.
healing horse, and Chili
cool.
Playboy, great horse.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, dang. Started your guys' herd in Brazil, I guess, technically.
Yeah, exactly. So that guy, that's funny you're reading that. That guy gives me that horse to get to his ranch.
Yeah.
Surprises me with the horse.
That's pretty wild.
Really, and beautiful horse. Like, the cutting stud is just like one of the highest earning studs in Brazil,
Holy smokes.
and the mare was really good as well. So it was really cool.
And I had this question. It might not be very relevant, but what were you reading and intaking on these trips that you were on? Like, were you just catching up with folks on the phone and Skype and messaging emails, like, while you're stopped? Or, like, are you reading different books on the trip? Or, like, What are you intaking while you're on the go?
Bro, you're just intaking oxygen and then
Yeah.
sleeping. Like it's
Yeah.
so tiring. Like I
Yeah.
didn't read any books. I didn't
Nothing.
listen to anything. Like you're
surviving.
You're surviving. 100.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Even
what
if
put
you're
it.
there for a month, like
You're surviving.
You're
You're doctoring that horse. If you're there for a month, there's a reason you're there. That horse is hurt,
Yeah.
and then you're writing these blogs, and then you got to film the footage, and then you got to send the footage to wherever you're sending. Then you got to find shoes for these horses. In Central America, the horses' feet are this big. I have a Frenchman's guy that's like this big, and then you got where the people jumping horses in the capital. You take a bus there to find, and then there is no ferry, so you got to shoe the horses yourself. You're either doing 1 or 100 things every day, and then you just when you can you sleep because you're so tired and wash your clothes and then go again. Yeah, you don't do much, and the other part is the people they're hosting you, right? So they want to share their stories. They want to hear your stories. Like one of the hardest part, like Mexico was the country that celebrated my journey the most, right? So one day 1,000 people rode with me. Like some days 7 people would ride with me, but every day was a fucking party. Like a mayor threw a 3-day party for me that like they would just switch mariachi bands. Like one would stop, the next one would be setting up before this one ended. And some days you just want to sleep. You're like, oh my God, I wish I was like in my tent again because you're just so tired. And these people just it's like
Everybody
you
wants a piece
understand
of you, though.
they want to party, they want to hear the stories, but you're like, bro, tomorrow I'm gonna be the only person at 6 a.m. saddling horses while you fuckers are sleeping until like 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, T-Pain. I can't go out again tonight.
T-Pain almost killed me at the NFR this year. Did you go to the concert?
Fuck no.
Bro, that guy goes on stage at 3 a.m.
I know better than that.
I was like, who starts a concert at 3 a.m.?
I don't go to fucking T-Pain at 3 a.m. in Vegas.
Yeah, T-Pain. I saw one song and then I went home. I was like, this is fucking retarded. Like,
I did enjoy when he sang "Should Have Been a Cowboy" with I think it was with Jelly Roll at Coachella. No, not Coachella. Stagecoach.
oh my God.
It was like I was like, where the fuck am I right now?
I never heard this
T-Pain
version.
is singing "Should Have Been a Cowboy" with some country guy.
Wow.
I don't know who the hell it
that's
was now. Must be. I think it was Jelly Roll though.
Okay.
But it was a couple years ago, and I was like, did I just? What is happening?
That would be awesome.
It was
though,
pretty
to
cool.
witness.
And the way his voice is, like, it really kind of matched up with like what,
No way.
like with what Toby Keith, like what Toby sounds like, and then T-Pain. Like I was like, my mind is fucking blown right now.
I need
This was
to.
awesome.
I need to YouTube.
You might have
this
to look
after.
this up.
Yeah, that sounds
It's
awesome.
got to exist somewhere.
That would be cool. But yeah.
Anyway, so
man.
that was not the song you heard in Vegas before you.
No, he did not. I don't know what he just got into like the oldies. He's got a lot of hits, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But just too late, man. We were so tired. I'm like, oh my God, I'm too old for this.
I get it though. You're like, you always got to be on though when you're on that tour. You probably enjoyed parts of like the Trunk Road where you guys had like maybe 5 people see you in a month, where you can kind of just like, I can exhale a bit. And
and focus on the
look after the
horses and their
horses,
health and just be, wake up in the morning and not feel like a bag of shit, right?
Yeah.
Because
Because your ass is already fucking sore.
Yeah, your back, your knees,
Honestly,
everything is sore,
yeah.
and
Everything.
And like I said, you can't make mistakes, right? Like it's something that doesn't allow for for a second run. You're not roping a calf or running barrels. Like there are transport trucks or bears, or there are things that could go wrong very quickly, right? So if you're tired, if you're hazy, you're jeopardizing your safety, your horse's safety. So yeah, it's no good.
So you're sitting in front of the Brahma boot sign right now.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't quite work for Brahma last time we left. I don't know if I got your pair of boots yet. I feel like I don't think I've got.
Where are my boots? I'm wearing socks right now because I don't have boots.
So just so you know, for being on the show, we're gonna get you a pair of Brahma boots. If you don't already have,
let's go.
If you don't already have a boot sponsor, sorry to your boot sponsor, but
I don't have a boot sponsor.
You don't have a boot sponsor. Well, this is a really good.
Let's do this.
This is a really good time to get you a pair of boots. So we're gonna have some chili in a little bit.
Nice.
We'll go through the catalog, find you some boots. We'll try on the samples in the.
Thank you so much.
We'll try on the samples in the garage, but you got to tell me, I don't know if you've had any of our boots before. You probably had to deal with somebody in Brazil or something. I don't know before.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
you did before. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you probably really got to learn about the gear and like you talked about riding in a Wade saddle for part of the second trip because it was a better fit on the horse. It was lighter.
Distributes the
weight better.
The way better. Yeah.
Yeah. Because somebody built you like a brand new saddle to go to on your second leg.
Yeah, it was cool. Like another part about doing this is that you realize that there is no equipment made for riding long distance. You know what I mean? Like it's all made for competition, which makes sense, but it's not made to be on your horse for 8 to 10 hours. So I had a lot of problems with saddle sores and cinch sores and all that stuff. And so I started developing my own gear, talking to people that done this. Like the pads I use are foam pads, like people that build couches. You go to Walmart, they sell those thick foam pads.
Yeah.
That's what I was using as my saddle pad. Like it was the only thing that didn't sore my horses up, which
wow.
was crazy. Like an old timer told me, and it ended up helping me a lot. I wore 7 pairs of boots. The first one's at the Baddest Shoe Museum in Toronto because there's so many holes in them. Like because they don't
Leather
make
sole?
equipment for that anymore. Pardon?
Leather sole?
Leather sole, but just
Every time?
Not every time.
No.
It usually depends on what the sponsor was sending me, right?
Okay.
But I'm a leather sole kind of guy. But I wear those the thicker ones, which are a little more comfortable to walk in, and
spongy.
but those they would blow holes on those things. The leather would last more.
7 pairs of boots.
7 pairs of boots. Yeah.
So you got to know what a good pair of boots was.
Oh, 100%.
pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
Yes, sir.
Can you spot them on the shelf now?
No, I have to put them on and kind of walk with them for a little bit.
Huh.
But yeah, it's tough, man. Like when you actually, because I didn't have like a pair of boots and my runners. Like you just have the one pair of boots. So you're watering the horse in the boots. You're walking in the snow in the boots. You're crossing the river in the boots. You're wearing them every single day. You're sleeping in the boots. So
And they wear out a lot faster when that's the
they
case.
wear out like crazy, man. They would literally.
You have to get them to ship you a pair of boots. Like when you're stuck for somewhere, you're like,
hey, send them ahead,
please,
or
I need these
ship
pretty
them because
bad.
they would literally have holes on them,
Yeah.
like everywhere. Like it's crazy.
And so my dad told me a long time ago, and even just like, so my dad grew up riding his horses to school every day.
That's
and like,
awesome.
He was born in 1943.
Wow.
Right. So he and the horse, like they have been through some shit, right?
Yeah.
He got stuck in a snowstorm one time with his horse coming back from school. He was like 8 years old. Like there's some wild shit, but nothing like what you did as far as like the journey of the distance. Dad might have rode 27,000 kilometers in his lifetime.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't
For
know.
sure. I'm
Maybe,
sure he did
maybe
more.
more. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like,
yeah. If someone was clogging it, right?
Right. Yeah. If you're really
Going to school every day.
Yeah, for
There and
18
back.
years of
That's
your life
awesome.
before
man.
he ran off to
I
doing
love
the,
that.
the rigs. But like
Yeah.
my point was with Dad is like he said with your leather boots, and like I pretty much only wear a leather sole now.
Yeah.
And I'm not working in them that much.
Yeah.
Ride a tiny little bit. I would like to ride more, but
Yeah.
he said you got to let your leather boots dry out for a while. Like right, but you don't have an opportunity to. You have one
No.
pair of boots on the road.
Exactly.
You don't have time. You're gonna get foot rot just with your socks. Like
Yeah.
I can't imagine that. But like you have to know what a good boot is. So we'll get you a pair of Brahmas here.
That's
before,
awesome. I'll
before
put them up
too
to
long.
test.
See what you think.
I'm going to. I'm guiding rides now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Did Amber just do one with?
She's doing a different deal. She's doing the same thing, which is
Same
interesting.
idea.
It's become like a
Yeah.
market, right? Where they take
Yeah.
like I guess people that have a following. She's obviously got way more of a following than me, but and people that love horses, right? So it's worked out great for me. This is my 3rd year now, and I get to I've done Patagonia, I've done Spain, the U.S. I'm going to South Africa now in March, so I'll put them up to the test. I'm going to do South Africa and Mozambique on with the horses. So I'll let you know how the boots feel after.
Have to let us know.
Yes, sir.
The what was I gonna say? I had something on the tip of my tongue. I forget now. Anyways, let's talk about cowboy shit. We would have asked you your definition of cowboy shit when we did the last show, but
Yes, sir.
give us an update. Give us an update now because it for me and for a lot of people it probably changes once in a while.
Yeah.
Based on what's going on, what you're up to. You know, what's cowboy shit mean to you now, Filipe?
I don't remember what I said last time. I hope it was something interesting, but
Probably
to me, I don't know. Cowboy shit to me is the cowboy code. You know, it's just riding for the brand, finishing what you start, respecting your elders, and being a steward of the land and taking care of animals. I think that's what being a cowboy to me. You know, it's not just roping or riding bulls. I think that's a part of it, but I think it's who you are outside of the arena. You know, when no one's watching, and the biggest cowboys I know are just the nicest, most humble people I've ever met, and that's what I strive to be. And I think the world could use a bit of that nowadays. Just serving God and being a good person, I think is being a cowboy to me nowadays.
The rides sound like a lot of fun. Going to different countries, doing that sort of thing. Having your own horses, starting a family. Like I'm excited for what's next for you.
Thanks, brother.
And I kind of had the thought of like, you're like, oh, you bought this house in 2011, and like I guess that was a year before you started. Your first ride.
It's crazy.
But like, I assume there's no regrets in everything you've done. There can't be, right?
No, it changed my life, man. Like if I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have met my wife.
Yeah.
Like Yeah, zero regrets. Like, yeah, this changed my life. And I just like from what I've lived and what I've seen, like there's no way you can tell me that this is not written by the same hand and we're just here following these instincts we have that lead us down the path we're supposed to go on. So like even if there was some that I regretted, it's like I can't regret it because that's the journey I was supposed to undertake. Like every cell in my body was telling me like I needed to do this. And then when I got to Brazil, it was like I obviously was not done and my instinct told me to continue. And you know, so to me it's like that was my journey and I've lived the hell out of it. And I feel blessed to have had this journey for me because I live an awesome life, man. Everything I do today is all thanks to that. Like it's crazy to look back and think about that kid and drawing on that wall and making the plans and now, like, everything I get to live, it's like, it's freaking awesome, man.
I love it. Well, you can find The Long Rider on YouTube. It's free for everyone in the world to watch. All 3 books are on Amazon. Find him on the social media on his website.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited to see what you do next in the next 5.5 years.
I'm going to eat some chili now.
Yeah, exactly.
That Ted has made for us. Very, very kind.
Sounds like a plan.
This episode is also brought to you by Chile.
Chile, yeah. The country of Chile. The founders of Chile.
The founders of Chile. No, man, it's gonna be awesome. The next 5 years is gonna be epic. I'm excited.
Yeah.
A lot of projects. Want to start raising the kids. Maybe next time I come to record a podcast, we'll have some little ones.
Yeah,
running
maybe
around,
I will too.
breaking your shit. Maybe
TBD.
you will as well.
We'll see.
Maybe they can be
Man,
friends.
The world is our oyster.
Yeah,
We can do whatever the hell we want.
You just have to go inside the oyster.
I think that's part of the message though today. Like I don't think I've ever really talked about a message of a show.
Yes, sir.
But like for me, I've done a lot of wild shit over the years. As far as like I haven't ridden my horse that far, but I've kind of like got up every day and thought about how I can contribute or how I can make things better in the world and like how I can, you know, create the life I want to live. And I think that's a lot of what you've done is like you get up in the morning and you do whatever the fuck that you think you should do or how you can help better the planet and but also like anything is possible too.
Yes, sir.
As far as we can do whatever the hell we set our minds to.
Yep. The reins are in our hands, right?
Yeah. We are the masters of our own universe.
You got to lead the horse to where you want to go. I meet so many people in airplane mode, and it's like, if you don't know where your X is, like, how are you ever going to get there? You know what I mean? So you got to, that's the first step, I think. Self-knowledge, take some time to, you know, go on a walk. You need, like, people don't spend any time by themselves anymore, right? I always ask people when I do these talks, like, there could be 5,000 people or there could be 10 people. I ask, like, okay, and I'll ask you this. Year just went by, 2025. Did you spend 3 days by yourself?
Totally by myself?
And if you were by yourself with no connection to internet?
Oh, definitely not. Not a chance.
Did you spend 2 days?
I didn't spend like 3 hours.
Right.
Honestly.
I believe you.
I don't even know when I would have done that.
I believe you. And that is how we live today. We're hyper connected, right? So at what moment do you have a second to have a conversation with yourself?
Only when I meditate.
You meditate?
Every day since like probably 2010.
Well, that's like 0.01% of people do that. That's amazing. But that's it.
Yeah, that's my only time.
And those are the moments where you hear the tough shit, right? Like, yo, you got to change this or you got to do that.
I don't know if I get there though.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like for me,
is it just like surface water meditation?
It's like every day it's 15 minutes and it's guided and it's like going through the different pieces and
okay.
But like this is a point in my life where I'm at it. I'm in it right now.
Do you reflect?
I think a little bit.
Okay.
But what I will say is like this Brahma Boot studio idea came from meditating.
Nice.
Right? Like this, I dream up these different things while I'm meditating or like
good for you.
Different events or like Keenan, Vine, Brandon, Tommy and I, I don't think it was a meditation creation, but we did the Canadian Cowboy ski race for a number of years. We might bring it back someday. You know, there's different things that way, but this is at a point. I'm at this point right now in my life where I'm not comfortable by myself very often.
Yep.
I've been in relationships since 2014.
Yep.
And always I don't want to say I've relied on someone else because I think that I provide a lot of those relationships too. And we have the house here and I have this house. This is in my name 100%. I've done what it takes to have a house and pay it off. But yeah, I'm not by myself very often, and I'm not super comfortable by myself. I was in Dallas this week and woke up in the middle of the night. 2 of the 4 nights I was away, or 2 of the 7 nights I was away, and like was awake for an hour
Yeah.
and just struggling to like calm myself down. Like, oh no, I'm fine. Like I don't,
Yeah.
you know, that's Covey Moore was my fucking roommate on our PBR tour for longer than his first marriage lasted.
That's so
Right.
funny.
Like I just, yeah, I'm still not super comfortable.
Most people
We're-
aren't.
Right. And like you had times where you weren't either.
Well, the thing with
Right.
me is that I was forced into it.
You had to.
And
on the ride.
sometimes that's the only way to do it is when you're
Yeah.
forced into it. That's why, like, I always tell people, man, like, put a backpack on your back and go in some mountains or go somewhere where you know you're gonna have to. You can't call an Uber to bring you Uber Eats. You can't get out of there. There's no like exit plan, because if you have a plan B, as humans, we always take plan B. Like, it's your mind keeping you safe. Like, don't die, Brad. Don't go in there. Like, you don't want to have these conversations with yourself, right? That's what I mean, like surface. So you should spend time by yourself and you should go deep, brother. Go deep. Ask the questions.
Damn.
The answers will come.
How? Like this?
You just talk to yourself.
Backpack and just go on.
Yeah, go on a 2-day bender in the mountains.
Damn.
Take a backpack and then
Sounds
just
sketchy as all shit.
Yeah, but I bet you'll come out with some answers that you need to hear. And,
Probably.
And it might be hard. It might take, tough.
I might die.
You might die, but maybe that's what needs to happen, Ted. No, you're not gonna die.
Yeah.
You're not gonna die. You're fine. If I didn't die, you ain't gonna die, bro.
Oh damn.
We'll helicopter you up.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Well, I know what I need to do. Can I just like go to Europe with a backpack? Is that
Yes,
like
that
similar?
works. Get out of
Would
your
that work
comfort
too?
zone. Yeah, get out of your comfort
'Cause
zone.
I don't want to do it.
You
but
just
I
need to
should.
get out of your comfort zone. You need to be somewhere where
I'm not in my comfort zone right now, even at my own house some days.
Well, that's good then.
I know I'm growing.
You're growing, Ted. That
Okay.
means you're growing, buddy.
I appreciate this. I feel like I just got a motivational talk from Filipe.
There you go. I'll send you the bill after, okay?
Yeah, okay, deal. All right. I'll pay you in chili.
Yes.
Okay. Make sure to check out the documentary once again, The Long Rider. It's on YouTube. This is Cowboy Shit. I'm Ted Stoven from the Brown Boot Studio. Thank you, Filipe. Clara, thank you for being here. Devin, as always, thanks for doing the video side of things. We'll catch y'all in a little while.